Hey everyone, welcome back to Topher Drives, where today we're giving you some first drive impressions on my, new to me, 2004 Honda Civic Hybrid. Those of you that follow me on Instagram probably already know about this car. I have teased it on my story a couple of times, and to be honest with you guys, this is not even a car that I planned on showing. This was a product of a late night Copart scroll session and an early morning Copart bidding session where I pressed bid one time and ended up owning another vehicle. The story was the same with my OG W126 Mercedes 420 SEL and the GS400 that all of you guys know and love. This is the third Copart car that I've bought since I've had the Topher Drives channel, and none of them have really been like planned to be long-term ownership cars, but all of them have kind of worked their way into my heart, and I've loved them all for their own reason. It's part of why I have so many cars and I struggle to sell them so much, because every car kind of just has its own little personality and charm and things that I like about it. So anyway, here we go. This is my 2004 Honda Civic Hybrid. It's an unbelievably clean California car that when it showed up and I saw just how nice it was, I was thinking, okay, maybe I should actually show this on the channel. It's only done 93,000 miles, and up until 2023, it lived in California. It was shipped to Michigan sometime in 2024, where unfortunately the owners got into a little bit of an accident. They hit a deer, and the passenger side fender, door, mirror, and the windshield were all affected. But I mean, that was just about it. Otherwise, this car showed up pretty much ready to go. It did have a check engine light that ended up clearing itself, but we ran the code before I drove the car, and it was some sort of BS evap code or something like that. But the car does run and drive pretty well. So this is one of those cars that I didn't really know too much about before I got it. It just kind of looked decently nice in the pictures on Copart, so I threw down a bid and ended up winning it. But one of my best friends in high school had one of these, and it got her through all of the years without major incident. The biggest difference was hers had about 200,000 miles on it, and it was rusted to bits. It had huge holes in the rocker panels. The quarters were all rusted out. And that is kind of the sad story, the sad reality of these 7th gen Civic hybrids in the north, is that they all rust out terribly. Well, since this one has lived 95% of its life in California, it's in unbelievably good shape. I mean, the quarter panels are all solid. I can't tell if this car has really had any body work besides the recent body work that I've done to it. But okay, before I get down the rabbit hole and, telling you stories from my youth, let's actually talk about this Civic Hybrid. So this is finished in opal silver blue metallic. This was a color specific to the Civic Hybrid, and this car was a pretty big deal because the 7th gen Civic was the first time Honda ever offered a hybrid model. And this was kind of built to combat the Toyota Prius at the time, because there was no other mainstream hybrid sedan. Of course, Honda had the Insight, but that was a little 3-cylinder, 2-door spaceship looking thing that wasn't really practical for families. So Honda took this existing platform of the 7th gen Civic, put some different wheels, different bumper, different paint colors, and under the hood a 1.3 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine combined with an electric motor and either a 5-speed manual or a CVT, making 93 horsepower and 105 pound-feet of torque. If you opted for the 5-speed manual, you got about 10 more pound-feet of torque. Unfortunately, mine is the CVT, but I don't really think that's too big of a deal. It's kind of cool to see what an Econo box was like, a hybrid Econo box, back in 2004. Now, I actually have the original window sticker to this car, which we'll show you. Which, if you guys know me, you know this is just the coolest thing in the world to me. This car didn't have any options on it. This was just kind of how it came. Total vehicle price, $21,260. That was back in 2004. In today's money, 36 grand, which really isn't that cheap, especially considering that a new Civic Hybrid Sport only runs for about $30,000. So somebody in Serramonte, California, at Serramonte Honda, paid up for this thing in 2004. And in fact, that was the same person that owned it all the way up until 2023. So a pretty cool story here, and I'm excited to take you guys for a drive. I do have like phone numbers and contact info of the previous owners. I haven't reached out because I don't really know how to go about doing that. But I would love to hear the story about this car. Maybe like the original owner died or something, and maybe the kids passed it on and sold it to somebody in Michigan. I have no idea. But if you happen to be the original owner or the second owner that had this in Michigan, please, please, please reach out to topherdrives@gmail.com, the email that's in the bio of my YouTube. I would love to hear the lore of this Civic Hybrid. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything out of the way. We're close to being able to drive this, but I do want to poke around it just slightly. So one of the things I actually did to this was put a new set of tires on it. Now, I kind of went a little bit of a different direction. I didn't reach out to any tire companies. I didn't go and buy an expensive name brand set of tires. I got the cheapest tire I could find for research purposes, because I've always wondered if these Chinese tires are any good. So this is a set of Delinte DH2 185 70R14. I think I paid $180 for this entire set of tires. So we'll see. I mean, I drove it on the way over here, and I mean, they seem fine, but we'll evaluate more once we're out on the road. I have actually owned this car since December. It's now April, but finding parts for this was a little bit hard, especially this mirror. These are hybrid specific mirrors that fold, so they're a little bit harder to find than just the standard Civic mirrors. The only little bit of damage that I left is this little ding in the quarter panel from where the deer's skull bumped into the quarter or something, I guess, but otherwise I took care of absolutely everything. So this has a key fob and a stupid aftermarket alarm that, come to find out, Serramonte Honda was installing on all these back in 2004. Not a big fan of that, but we'll open the trunk for you. I have set the alarm off on this multiple times. Stupid 20-year-old aftermarket alarm thing. Under the trunk floor, we find an extremely clean floor of the car, spare tire toolkit, all that stuff. And honestly, the trunk is a pretty good size. I think the 7th gen Civic was kind of like peak size for a Honda Civic. This is just about perfect, because after this, I guess the 8th gen was a pretty good size too, but into 9th gen, they did start to get a little bit big. And the 11th gen Civic now is like an entire size bigger than this car. It's been very interesting to kind of spend some time with this and see how far the Civic has come in 20 years. Inside, we find a gray cloth interior that is incredibly clean. I mean, it looks like nobody ever sat in this back seat. This had to have been owned by somebody's grandma, which is why I do just want to know. I'm curious. Sat behind myself, though, I have room, but I've got about 6 inches less leg room than you would get in the new equivalent 11th gen Honda Civic Hybrid. But, you know, it does the trick. I've got enough headroom back here. There's no sort of like fold down armrest or anything. And it's a very flat floor. There's just nothing back here at all. You've got seat back pockets. You don't even have pockets in the door panels on the back here. Remarkably sparse. Up front, the story is just about the same. Not a whole lot going on up there. But the Hybrid did get a lot of standard technology, which is why you don't see any options on that window sticker that I showed you all earlier. Just moving around in this back seat is rocking this little car around. Now, the Hybrid did weigh more, of course, than just the regular Civic because of the battery, which sits right behind the back seat and in front of the trunk right here. And up to weight to about 2,700 pounds. So it's still under 3,000 pounds, which makes the 93 horsepower a little bit easier to swallow. Wait till you guys see how clean it is under the hood. I can't believe this car. Look how clear the headlights are. And these are original OEM Honda headlights, so even if they were replaced, they are still OEM. I mean, I think this car was just garaged and really, really well cared for. The biggest thing that I would like to know is, has the Hybrid battery been replaced? Because that is kind of an Achilles heel with these cars. Or, you know, it's just a maintenance item that needs to be taken care of. But there you go, the 1.3 liter 4-cylinder with IMA, integrated motor assist. Now, this doesn't necessarily behave like the current Honda hybrids with the 2-motor hybrid system. This is more so kind of like an electric supercharger that sits between the engine and transmission, which is the way that Car and Driver explained that back when they reviewed this brand new in 2003. But this isn't like a hybrid that's going to shut off while you're driving. You can't drive this in electric only mode. it kind of just works as a little bit of a power boost for this tiny engine, and then it also has auto stop start. So when you pull up to a set of lights, it'll shut the engine off and the car can kind of keep itself alive. Otherwise though, you can see all these big orange cords. That hasn't changed. That's all still the same for new hybrid vehicles. But I mean, I can't believe how clean this car is. I am so excited. I never thought I would see the day where I was excited over a 2004 Honda Civic, but here we are. I've reached late 20s car enthusiasm, I guess. Massive antenna, or aerial if you're British, that goes off the roof of the car, kind of makes it look like a big remote control thing. But okay, I think that's probably enough. My walkarounds are always longer than I intend them to be because I get excited about cars. So let's look on this interior in the front. Driver's seat is, I mean, almost immaculate. It's absolutely beautiful, along with just the rest of this interior up front. Stepping inside here, polyurethane steering wheel, but we have cruise control. So that is nice to see, and automatic climate control in a 2004 Honda Civic. Other amenities in here include a rear defrost, power mirrors. We have this little compartment with 2 cup holders. You have this little charger port right there for your radar detector if you're going to be doing 120 and have this thing pegged up the left lane. We've got a little center console there where I've actually got some stuff in there. I am using that. Unfortunately, the lid no longer latches. That latch there is broken off. So that is, I think that's like the one thing in this interior that is broken, if you were to go that far and say that it was broken. All right, let's start this thing up and we'll go for a drive. We're at the park right now. We're just gonna drive this kind of through town, jump on the highway. We'll quickly go around the test loop, and then we will take this back to the warehouse where it has been stored for a few months. This is the first chance I've even had to come out and drive this car. I've probably only put about 20 miles on it total since I've owned it, so this will be somewhat of a first impressions on this car as well. And you all get to ride along with me. So let's go ahead and start her up. Comes to life, just like any other hybrid, even a modern hybrid. You can see our blue-faced or blue-lit gauge cluster. And this little display over here, you can see the charge of our battery, which is almost full. Coolant temp, fuel gauge, and then on top we have our charge and assist meter, kind of like you would see in a modern hybrid as well. And you'll be able to see kind of the way this works while we're on the road, while it's charging, while it's assisting the 1.3 liter. Up front, we've got this little cubby below our radio. Obviously no sort of fancy sound system in this thing, and there's no cassette player in this, so I might have to like burn a CD in order for us to do a sound system test on this someday, if I keep this thing around long enough. You all will have to let me know if you even like this car enough to keep it around, or if I'm crazy for even being excited about it. I don't know. Okay, well, I don't know that there's necessarily anything up front that we need to look at. I mean, this is just a simple motoring car from 20 years ago. Everything you need and nothing that you don't. So this is a CVT, like I mentioned. You could have a 5-speed manual, which is excellent. If this car had the 5-speed manual, I would never be selling it. But the fact that it has the CVT makes me think we'll probably let it go someday, because these do have a tendency to go bad. Usually not until 150, 200,000 miles. And with this only having 93,114 miles, I think this car is pretty much okay. Go straight into drive here, and we'll get this thing out on the road. Now there's a little bit of like a stutter from this CVT when you take off, and I don't remember it doing that when I got it back in December when I drove it around the block for the first time, so don't totally know what that's about. Anyway though, throttle response, initial takeoff, pretty good, pretty natural, not lurchy or anything like that. I mean, Honda's pretty much always known how to make their cars drive properly. Would like to get some vent going in here. It is quite toasty. How do I have this point at me? There we go, just like that. Okay. The first thing I noticed, and the biggest surprise to me, is just how quiet this 1.3 liter is feels quite understressed. I mean, it only makes 93 horsepower. It's got the electric motor to help it, so it doesn't really have to do a whole lot. And these engines are kind of the strongest point of these Civic hybrids. Obviously, when I bought this, I thought, oh crap, I don't know anything about this car. I probably should do some research. And honestly, I probably should have done that before I bought the car. And if you're watching out there, you absolutely always should do research on a car before you buy it, not after you buy it. Anyway, that's just how it worked out in this situation. So what I found through my research is that these cars hold up very well, except for two main things. The first one being, about every 10 years or every 100,000 miles, you got to put a hybrid battery in it. Now that does sound scary, but I went on the internet and I found replacement hybrid batteries for this for under $1,500, which in the grand scheme of things, not too expensive, especially when you consider replacing hybrid batteries on other cars that are a lot more expensive. When it starts to sound like a lot of money is when you consider that this is probably on its best day a $6,500 car. So it is quite a large percentage of the value of the vehicle, but I don't think it would be the end of the world if you had to put a hybrid battery in one of these. Coming to a stop. It's not doing the auto stop for me. Got to get some more charge in the battery, I suppose. It is quite slow. I mean, I know it's light, but 93 horsepower only goes so far, and how much of that is it actually putting down to the wheels? Like 75? So the second thing, as I said earlier, is the CVT. Now you can obviously just completely avoid this by finding one with a 5-speed manual, which would be just more fun, more engaging anyway, and to have a manual transmission hybrid vehicle I think would just be kind of a cool thing to have. You could tell people at cocktail parties, yes, I have a hybrid, but it has a 5-speed manual. And then they would all walk away from you, but you would know in your heart that you have a very interesting vehicle. It's kind of cool because this Civic Hybrid has been so well looked after. It feels new. It even smells new in here still. I mean, there's no indication that anyone ever did anything nasty in this car, which is always nice when you're going for a used vehicle. You can see we're charging the battery like crazy here. Brake pedal's a little weird. And this is kind of like just any old hybrid car, with the brake pedal kind of being involved with the whole regen thing. They hadn't quite figured out how to make it feel natural yet back in 2004, and I don't really think they had it figured out until like 2015 and up. So it took a minute for that to happen, and you get used to it, but the first half of the brake pedal just kind of, it feels very artificial here in this car. And that could just be all Civics from this generation. I'm just assuming it's because it's the hybrid that we've got some kind of funky brakes going on. Steering feel is great. This car feels so small and flickable, mostly because it is very small, of course. And exiting. I always try to use my signals around here with roundabouts, which is never a bad idea to do anyway, but people, roundabouts are very unpredictable in my area in Michigan. I know Europeans are cringing, and honestly, you guys, I don't think I've even experienced this engine revving itself over like 3,000 RPM. It just is very quiet and reserved and low-key. It just kind of exists in the background, which I like. I mean, for a car like this, I don't need to hear a buzzy little 1.3. Get into the power a little bit there. I am not going to attempt to race this Yukon. We'll just get behind him. As far as this engine idling too, cannot even feel it. You guys can see from the steering wheel not shaking or anything. Must be up to date on motor mounts and transmission mounts and all that kind of thing. No sort of weird shakiness or vibration in this Civic Hybrid. Even for this CVT being 21 years old, I mean, it kind of just behaves. I wish new CVTs behaved like this. Just kind of keep it revved low. Doesn't need to be fake shifting or anything silly like that. Oh, also, this is the first time I've ever taken this car on the highway, so you guys are coming along with me on that. Little cornering test for the Delentes. Come on, RAV4, I've only got 93 horsepower. I need all this run. I need the whole thing. Please accelerate. 50. There is a sport mode on the CVT, but I'm scared to use that. I don't know what sort of things happen when you engage sport. Why are we braking? Please don't brake. It's the worst time to brake. Oh God, see, okay, this is one downside with having 93 horsepower is you can't, this person's gonna cause an accident. You can't fly around idiots that merge like that. I mean, you kind of just have to accept your fate. There you go, 80 miles an hour, we're revved. Surprisingly, actually, over 3,000 RPM. This Civic Hybrid with the CVT is rated at 48 MPG on the highway. Manual car is rated, I think, in excess of 50. It may even be 51 MPG, so pretty good fuel economy ratings on these. As you guys saw up front, slightly different grill and things to make this a bit more aerodynamic, but let me shut up for a sec so you can hear NVH at highway speeds. It's really not all that bad. I mean, it doesn't seem that much louder than like a current gen base Honda Civic. Ride quality is nice. I mean, the suspension, it's firm, but it's not beating me up. I mean, this car is still meant to be a daily driver. It's meant to be comfortable still, and I think Honda really did a great job with that back 20 years ago. Can you guys see me in the Honda badge here? I think you can. Yeah, look at this steering. It's darting all over. Tight suspension. I mean, no clunks or anything in this. I'm quite pleased with this car. I wonder if this has traction control. Actually, I don't think it does because there's no button to turn it off. Oh, can't really power out. It's okay, she gets it done. Up to 55, 60. Coming in, charging the battery under braking. I think this is the slowest car I've ever owned. New achievement unlocked. Own a car with less than 100 horsepower. Alright, let's see what these Delentes can do around our favorite corner here on the test loop. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, very flickable. Quite a bit of body roll going on, but we're just embracing it here. Oh man, raw first impressions. Sometimes the most fun kinds of videos, especially when it's a car that I just bought, that I spent my own money on. This is actually the first Honda I've owned as well, I think. from what I can remember. Sometimes I forget some of the vehicles I've owned over the years. I wanted to show you guys an auto stop, but has not wanted to do that here on our drive today. It was doing them the whole way to the filming location, so I know it works. Just have to wait till the next time I film the Civic Hybrid. That's okay. And please, if you're a guru on one of these cars, please, please, please sound off in the comments. I'm open to, you know, all the information I can get. Let's try and take a better line this time. I think it can do more through there. I think it can do about 50. You know, I'm happy with these Delentes for a tire that was like $45 a corner. Can't complain. Even like for quietness, they seem fine. They make a little bit of noise. That's to be expected. Now apparently, when this was new, it did 0 to 60 in about 11 seconds. So I suppose we should try and match that now. That may have been the manual transmission equipped car though. I don't know that the CVT can do that. I've also never floored this from a dig, so maybe the CVT is about to explode. I guess that would make for a good YouTube video if it did. So we'll see how this gets off the line. Why not? Nobody behind us, open stretch of road. All right. See how this gets off the line. $50. $60. All right. We'll time that and see how it did. I mean, that felt like about 12 seconds, so, yeah. But if it could, match up to what it did brand new, that's not too bad after 21 years and 93,000 miles. All right, let's flip this thing around real quick and we will head back. All right, guys, well, what do you think about this? I mean, is this a car that you want to see on the channel? Like, should I try and hypermile this out on some crazy road trip and see how it does? And I mean, it feels pretty stout to me. Like, it feels fine. It feels ready. It feels ready to go. It feels ready to be a daily driver. So I might drive it around some this summer and just kind of see if I like it. But I like it so far. I mean, I haven't really found anything that I don't like about it. Even the vent placement is nice. Those are in a really good spot. Driving position's really quite good too. This is a tilt steering wheel. You can move it up and down. Driver's seat is quite comfortable, from what I can tell. I mean, it goes down pretty low. It doesn't have lumbar adjust, I don't think, unless there's a knob I haven't found somewhere. But I mean, this feels like a higher end compact car that you would have had 20 years ago, which is exactly what it is. It just kind of validates that Honda has been building good products for quite a while. I just like buying cars. I'm always excited when I buy something new. So it's been a fun experience, getting it all sorted out, put together, and then I had my buddy Stu detail it, and he did a paint correction and stuff, and oh my gosh, no one's ever looked at a 2004 Honda Civic Hybrid the way that I looked at this car when I saw it freshly detailed. It was a cool sight, because you have the feeling that somebody really, really cared about this car for its first 20 years, its first 19 years, and it's cool to kind of carry that on, try and take care of the car. Elbows, well, this is annoying. Also, it's just rock hard plastic. I need to try and find a new console lid because that's gonna annoy me. But look at this, very squishy material for our left elbow. That's quite good. I wonder if maybe it's a fuel thing, just because there's hardly any gas in this. That might be why the auto stop isn't working. I want to shoot like a city commute in this car too, where we start downtown on a parking structure and hypermile it back and see how we can do. But that's going to wrap it up for us today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Just wanted to give you a quick little glimpse and an introduction to this 7th gen Civic Hybrid. A car that I think is forgotten at this point. I mean, they only made it for 3 years. I think 03 to 05 was the only time that this existed. And the 03 was actually slightly different. It had a different front end. They brought this out in 03, and then they immediately facelifted it in 04. So if you have an 03, it's a one model year only car. And then 04 and 05 are identical. So this one being the middle child, the 2004. But it's held up well. 21 years later, 93,000 miles. How many times can I say it? I mean, I'm impressed with this little car, and I think it would be cool just to kind of have around, you know, just as a little economy car, a gas mileage daily. Not that I really need a daily driver at this very moment, but I'm trying to think of excuses why to keep the car. So I don't know. Leave in the comments if there's anything you want to see done to this. I mean, I'm pretty inclined to just leave it stock because it's a Civic Hybrid. Part of me is like, oh, coilovers and wheels would be cool on this, but what's the point? I mean, I think it's just kind of perfect how it is. It's a good color. It's stupid clean. And I'm pretty excited about it. So, I don't know. I was just going to sell it right away. If you guys don't really have a ton of interest in it, maybe I still will. This also gave me an opportunity to get a new green license plate. So, all right. Well, that's it. Just kind of a casual short video for you guys, but thank you all so much for watching, and again, looking forward to your comments, either with knowledge about a 7th gen Civic Hybrid, suggestions, if you like it, if you hate it, whatever. But yeah, that'll be it for us today. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.